Hey guys, Jehuty here with another Tekken 7 video, and today we're looking at all of the Season 4 changes for Master Raven, aka Maven. So how this goes is that we'll start off with the new move she got at the beginning of Season 4, then the 4.20 update, and then the rest of the changes from Season 4. So look into the timestamps in the description to find the place you want to skip to. So without further ado, let's get in with a new move. Black Hole, which is 114. It's not a natural combo, so keep that in mind. However, if the second hit connects, then the fourth one is guaranteed, so that means if the first one whiffs. It does a combined damage of 39, and the cool thing is that you can actually just decide to use the first two punches because the second punch is -9 on block. And then you can decide if you want to risk it and then put out the kick at the end, because on block this is then -14 and puts Master Raven in back turn, so there's not enough time for her Power Crush to activate if you want to prevent retaliation. Next up we have a semi-new move. So her throw, her 1+2 throw, she can now execute it out of back turn by pressing either 1+4 or 2+3. And this is really good addition, maybe even better than the previous move, because this makes it so that she has a bigger mix-up game when it comes to throws from back turn, so quite a buff if you ask me. Now we come to the 4.20 change, which goes to her While Rising 1. And what they've done here is that they felt that in many instances after blocking certain lows, this While Rising launcher would whiff. So what they've done is they've buffed the range of the attack, so the hitboxes become bigger, so that's quite a buff in that regard. Now let's go to the rest of the Season 4 changes. Firstly, we go to a Rage Drive, and that goes for both variations. According to the description, can now shift to a throw when the move hits from the side. So yeah, this is kind of misleading, but thanks to Rigi Industries from Reddit for clarifying this a bit. What's actually meant is that when this move hits from the side now, it kind of realigns the opponent, because what would happen previously is that Master Raven would just fly in one direction and the opponent would fly slightly in the other direction, so she wouldn't be able to combo off of that. So yeah, now that shouldn't be the case anymore. You should be able to more consistently combo off of it, even if it hits from the side. So it's kind of like Julia's down forward 2-1 or Kunimitsu's Rage Drive as well. So these are technically seen as throws, even though we don't think of them as throws. So yeah, that's how it works. Next up we come to her Chariot, her cartwheel move. And what they've done here is that they've decreased distance between the character and the opponent when the first attack hits. So yeah, this was because in many instances there were cases when you would hit the opponent but you wouldn't be able to combo off because the rest would whiff. So now, yeah, this should be more consistent. They've also made it so that she's in a jump status longer when she does the move, so between 17 to 31 frames. However, they haven't specified what it was before, but to my understanding, she's now longer in the jump status, so a buff overall. Next change is during Haze 3, and this is the kind of changes which we saw in Season 4. Adjusted the motion since it was difficult for the opponent in a jump status to land a mid-attack. So it just meant like certain moves which were in the air, like a hop kick or a delayed hop kick, would sometimes whiff, and now this shouldn't be the case anymore. Now we have forward 2, so just the first one, not the second kick. What's happened here is they've increased the move's reach, so now it reaches further. So that's quite a buff, especially for checking the opponent. And then we have forward 3-2. And what they've done here is that now on counter hit, the second move is now a launcher. So that's a nice buff, but I don't think it's going to help her overall, but still a nice buff. Then we have down 4, and what they've done here is that they've increased the range of the attack. And this is really great because this is a really good poking tool, so now from even further away you should be able to poke at your opponent. Next in line is down back to 1, or 13 frame Punisher. So the first and the second hit, what they've done is reduce the strength of the pushback and made the move easier to land. So that's what that consistency, goodness. But what they've also done on the first hit is that they've increased the lower range of the attack, so the hitbox has been expanded downward. And yeah, this move in some cases would whiff in combos or as a pickup, and therefore yeah, it should now definitely be more consistent. Next move is down back 3, and what they've done here is that they've decreased the distance between the character and the opponent when the move hits, which is really great because the move is +5 on hit, and of course that means you'd also be able to get the counter hit follow-up afterwards easier. What they've also done is they've adjusted the motion since it was difficult for an opponent in jump status to land a mid attack. So that's what I mentioned before, when somebody uses a hop kick or a delayed hop kick, it would sometimes whiff. This should no longer be the case. Next is back 3. So what they've done is they've decreased the distance between the character and the opponent when the move is blocked. Yeah, this is kind of a nice buff, but keep in mind that despite feeling quite heavy, it's still only +1 for Raven. It's still her advantage, however not a big advantage. Now we come to her back turn stance. So the first thing out of back turn is forward 3. Yeah, so what's happened here is that this move always used to be 13 frames. Now at peak range it'll be 14 frames, so that's between 13 and 14 frames. What they've also done is they've buffed the behavior on block, so now it's -6 instead of -8, so slightly better. And what they've also done is that they've made the move more consistent by, you guessed it, reduced the strength of the pushback and made the move easier to land. Yeah, next back turn move is the same thing, so however you cancel it into a back turn, so back turn, forward 3, and then you press back. And what they've done here is that it used to be -11, now it's -9 on block. Yeah, it's slightly better, but Master Raven is still in back turn stance, so it's still a bit dangerous for her. Then we have back turn, forward 3+4, and yeah, you guessed it, it's one of that consistency stuff. Reduced the strength of the pushback and made the move easier to land. What used to happen here is that sometimes you wouldn't be able to get the pickup afterwards, and now with the changes to this, it should be easier now to combo off of this. Up forward 3+4 is next, and they've increased the range of the attack, so the hitboxes become somewhat bigger. And yeah, this is great. It's more of that consistency stuff, especially if you want to use some of the extensions from this move or use the wall combo ender. That's definitely a buff for Master Raven. Then we have a quarter circle forward 1-2. Now what's happened with this is that it can now hit consecutively. What they mean by that, it's a natural combo. When the first hit connects, the second one is guaranteed. However, in many cases you're either fishing for a counter hit on the first hit, or you would actually using it as a wall carry tool in a combo. So I don't think this makes too much of a difference. And yeah, we have next up quarter circle forward 4, and what they've done here is increase the lower range of the attack, so the hitboxes become bigger on this launcher as well. And I think that's great because yes, in some cases this would also whiff, so hopefully that's no longer the case. So the last change goes to her while crouching down forward 3+4, and yeah, they've adjusted the motion, blah blah blah. So what that means is that if an opponent was using a hop kick or a delayed hop kick or something which had mid-air status, it would sometimes whiff, and this should no longer be the case anymore. So that about does it for all of Master Raven, aka Maven's Season 4 changes. Overall, I think she's a bit more solid this season. However, there's still a couple of consistency stuff which need to be looked at, such as her rage art. And yeah, I still think a lot of people sleep on this character. So yeah, you know how this goes. If you liked the video, leave a like. Really consider subbing because that really helps me the most. And yeah, there's more goodness on the Jehuty Gaming channel for you to browse, as well as more stuff to come. So this is your boy Jehuty, and I'll see you on the next one.